Can't walk around the boat, makes the laser move, Mum.
Oh, was that me moving it, was it?
Yeah, the whole boat shakes.
Right, so Shane is marking out where we're going to put
The
Daggerboard crash box.
Oh, so we are going to do one.
Yeah.
We are, yes. I think at the end of the
Safety.
day, it was like the floors are out and we're this far in.
And it's also a piece of very safe
It's a good safety
measure.
feature. So the aft part of the Daggerboard case, he's going to do a box that's waterproof, watertight, and it's just going to be a bit of a secondary protection in case we do hit something with the Daggerboards and it breaks the case. It's going to
Protect the boat from sinking.
yeah, it's got to catch all the water that leaks in there. The other thing is, I asked him if he was going to do it on the forward part. He said it's very unlikely that you're going to hit something reversing, so it only needs to be on the aft section. Now you can see we've replaced the two little half bulkheads that were there next between the centerboard case, or Daggerboard case, and the inside of the hull, and we've just put one beefy one in there, and there is a flange now that goes all the way so the floor will sit nicely on something and be supported, which wasn't there before. So it's going to be super cool.
I got zapped
Super
in
cool.
the eye.
Oh, with the laser.
Yeah.
And forward of that,
My room.
yeah, it's Harry's room, and I've been working on bogging and sanding there, so hopefully I'll be able to finish that off today, get it close to ready to paint.
So, Anna was talking about something in behind our Daggerboard cases here. So I'm going to explain it or enlighten a little more on it. What it is. Okay, so this is the trailing edge of our Daggerboard case. Has been great for 30 years and will be great for another more than 30 years. So what am I changing and modifying? Well, I am increasing the safety of the boat by creating a crash box behind here. So these guys originally put this chop strand covered piece of plywood on the trailing edge of the Daggerboard case, which is actually quite good because this really helps distribute the load from the trailing edge of here over a larger area of the boat, so the chances of completely destroying the back end of the box are reduced. But they didn't quite nail it, and you know, with boats it's details, everything is in the details. So they've done this, but they've actually not made the connection right down here in the corner, this corner here where the Daggerboard case intersects with the hull skin. This is the first thing to explode. Okay, when the Daggerboard gets pushed back, it starts at this, everything starts at this corner. So this is where it's going to explode, create the crack and flood the boat. It then increases on its way up here if the thing keeps coming back. And because this box, you can see here, is wedge shape, right? It's the shape of the trailing edge. What happens is then, as the wedge comes aft, it then pushes the box out. So it tries to split this open this way. So there's a double effect. We've got a knife wanting to come through here and then Wedge wanting to split it open. So I'm not a huge fan of this style of box. I do prefer a straight out rectangle Daggerboard case with a bearing at the top and the bottom, or to reduce the amount of sinkage, we use a diamondy shaped box. So it's a rectangle with tapers at the front and the back, so that we don't lose so much volume. But the main thing is that we got this bearing inside, and inside that bearing hole supports the Daggerboard itself, but then it's the bearing is like a big flat face on the back edge here, so you've got big flat bluff faces, so there's lots of area, so that it's really hard to split the cases open. Okay, but anyway, this is the style of Daggerboard case that I have. So I'm just increasing the safety of it. One, I put a bit more laminate in and around these areas, so grunting it up. Not that I really need to, but anyway, I've grunted it up because I can. But I'm also creating a watertight box around the back end of this area. So now I've got this structural floor that is creating a structural and watertight lid that will go on the top. So from here down, and this is the area that if we do hit something at speed, this is the area that's going to split open. All right, now I know it's going to split open if we hit something hard, right? There's no argument what's going to happen. It's gonna, if it's going to bust something, it's going to bust it open here. So I'm going, okay, it's going to bust open and we're going to create a hole. So what I'm doing is creating a box in around here that when that splits, it fills this box up, and this box will then have a drain. But it's a full watertight box that I keep the bung in, that it then hopefully just gives us time to then sort shit out, so that it's not flooding the boat. This can be busted and leaking, but if I've got a watertight box in behind here, just like a watertight crash bulkhead in the front of the boat, this is sort of like a watertight crash box in around the back edge of my Daggerboard case, that it gives me time to go and sort shit out. So it's a very, very painful job, very challenging. You can see lots of small things. I've got little small return flanges. I've got areas where I can't actually get my head in and over and laminate with my mask on. Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare of a thing to build, but for the extra week it's taking me to build this, I'm hoping like hell it's gonna be worth it. Well, I hope that I never ever actually have to have this thing work at all, to be completely honest. And you know, the boat's gone halfway around the planet twice, so the chances are very slim, and if you do hit things, you know, but we're going to sail this boat probably a lot faster than it's ever been sailed as well. So, and now out in the oceans there's a lot more shit floating around than there was 30 odd years ago as well. So we've got to increase our safety factors and margins from what was even here before. So that's what's going on. Hopefully this week I can get this finished off, and these bilges painted and the floor glued down. So I've infused a couple of bit more. There's some good English. I've infused a few more parts to complete my crash box behind the Daggerboard case. Did those yesterday afternoon / evening. This is the side panel. This is the back piece. And while I was at it, I infused a piece of angle as well. So I've got a little bit of stock. This will actually go into our fuel tank shelf, which I did the day before. It's a whole nother thing. Kids, stuff, shit going everywhere. So infusing multiple parts for multiple jobs all at the same time. I ended up going and finding on Amazon a piece of aluminium to create my return flanges instead of my dodgy piece of foam, because I was starting to do a lot of them and the piece of foam died on the on that little half frame bulkhead thing that went into the centerboard case. I post-cured it and it didn't handle the post-cure very well. So I got a piece of aluminium, much nicer, covered it with my Teflon and everything is good. So today I'll be cutting, scribing, fitting these things, hopefully gluing them into position.
Sticky, smelly stuff. Floor is going to be glued in. Well, half a floor.
your sanding going?
Slowly.
Slowly.
Slowly. And really difficult now to work out, because there's so many different colours, what needs to happen and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is with feel. Almost there.
So, I've finished the crash box and all the shadows in. I was a bit slack and glued a bit of the floor on top of the crash box so you don't get to see inside of it so well. Oops, sorry, but mind on the job. But I can show you the outside. I've given the bilge a little lick of paint as well. So the bilge is looking a bit like this now. I've got return flanges everywhere. Things clamped everywhere, but yeah, there's my crash box now. So you can see the crash box that contains the water. It's on the back of the actual Daggerboard case. I've actually just glued this piece of flooring behind the case, so you can't see. There's actually a bit of a bulkheady bit there, but you'll see in the video when I put that in. You should be able to see that. Let's see if I can stick the camera in there. Might be able to see something going in. Oh yeah, can sort of see stuff. Sorry, but yeah, I've taken that all in. So that is all now quite substantial. So if we do hit something, we have half a chance of catching all the water before it fills our bilges up. There is one extra piece that still has to go in before I glue the floor in tomorrow, and that's actually a bung. I put a bung right there, and that bung will always be in, but I'll be able to remove the bung just to check, make sure there's no water in there or anything stupid happening. Yeah, so it's while it's not an inspection type arrangement, it is a watertight compartment with a drainable bung, just to check as a telltale if something's going wrong or not. Harry, I think, asked me why couldn't I put an inspection hatch in here. Technically I could, but it becomes very difficult to keep it watertight because we are just below the waterline here. The waterline of our boat is about there, just above the floor, which is a real pain in the backside. But anyway, is what it is. The hydrostatic pressure to blow the lid off is a little bit high. I know it's only that far below, but if you're sailing along and your crash box is damaged and you're going up and down in waves, the waterline can be anywhere up to sort of here, which is a fair way, which means that there'll be hydrostatic pressure going in there and wants to pop the lid off, so it's all going the wrong way for this big diameter lid. So I'd go for the super simple solution. Say that one real fast. Of just putting a bung in the side here, just to drain it, and as a telltale. So yeah, there's my crash box that's taken way too long to do, but the bilge, to be honest, in here I'm feeling a lot more comfortable about, with regards to how it talks to the Daggerboard case. The floor's all tied in, we've got this crash box, we're a long way in front of where we were. It's cost me a bit of time, it's cost me an extra week faffing around with that. There's a lot of faffing around with that, but I think it'll be worth it.